What's going on, everybody? So we'll be finally, look, I'm not getting that Ray Lewis. After the foolishness he's been talking about on Undisputed about Kaepernick, I'm done with him. But I want to know what your legends, what are you going to pick? I'm probably going to go with Deion Sanders. But let's talk about the Madden gameplay issue, the Madden 18 gameplay issue. Obviously, you guys should have already seen the tweets that there's going to be gameplay coming out by other YouTubers, AntoDaBoss, and maybe some other guys that are really in with EA are going to be able to put those videos out. You know, possibly QJB, guys like that. But other guys that were competitive, that actually had some things to say about the game that wasn't favorable, did not get invites to play the game early or to do anything like that. And I just want to talk about, let me just let you guys understand that if you guys watch me on stream, you guys would have known that at first I wanted to see gameplay, and then it turned out, for me, I didn't want to see any of it. Because you know what? The reality is we're going to buy it anyway, right? It doesn't really matter what it is. They could put, like, you know, that dude from the South Park turd, the little doo-doo that was walking around. I don't remember what his name was. Whatever his name was. They could put that as the entire game where you're walking around with him and he's throwing passes and we'll still buy it. Just be honest about it. That's where it's been right now with EA. So I'm not concerned about that. I don't think it's fair, though, that competitive players, and when I say competitive, like a lot of people knock the competitive scene. Look, Madden 16 and 17 were very, very easy to play in certain aspects, and the competitive players were able to lock in on certain things to make them better than the average Joe. But the game was a lot easier to play, 16, 17. You could agree with that, you can't, it doesn't really matter. I don't really care about that, that's my opinion. But still, the competitive players had an edge because they knew of more things that worked. So still, I consider them competitive players when I'm saying that. And I'm gonna talk about Serious Mo and Young Kib today. Now, Young Kib is not as bad as Serious Mo was. And I got a lot of respect for Serious Mo, but unfortunately, telling the truth in certain aspects doesn't help you. And that's the problem, because Serious Mo was very, very honest about a lot of the things that that went on within the game of Madden 17. He was very, very honest about it. And what I'm saying is, at first, he wasn't being disrespectful and saying things that would be taken in a hostile manner. He was trying to be, you know, politically correct, as we say. But nothing was getting done, because what happens is, if something is working for them, if they're making a game where a lot of people can just pick it up and play it and they enjoy it, they're making their money. They're a publicly traded entity, EA Sports. They got to make sure that their stockholders and everything, people only care about dollars and cents. I don't know if you guys are in the stocks. I used to be very, very heavily in it, made a lot of money doing it. Just depending on how you play it. And I didn't have no schooling for it. I just looked at stuff and read ratios of returns, looked at the work they were doing. You know what I'm saying? I did research into it. You know what I'm saying? Just because dudes is from the hood, that don't mean that we don't understand what's going on. But again, when you think about the fact, like we have to be honest about it, okay? AntoDaBoss is not, he's not the best Madden player, okay? So him playing it, he knows in his heart that the game is probably, I don't know how to describe it, fecal matter, but he's not going to give off that type of assessment. He has to be smart with it. And a lot of the people that are coming up with him have to also be smart about it. They have to be very, very careful about the things that they say about it, because otherwise this won't happen. You see what I'm saying? You have to be very, very, it's just like anything else. You know what I'm saying? If something is not that good and you can get the right person to say that it is good, it's gonna sell regardless. The funny thing about it, though, is EA, the game's gonna sell regardless. So it doesn't really matter which way it goes, but I can see and understand over the last couple of years what they've been doing. But it's never been this bad. They've gone from giving us demos to not giving us anything. And I don't know if it's with the climate change or what's going on with it, but it is what it is. Bottom line is, I don't care about seeing gameplay at this point. And I felt this way over the last month. I started to think, like, look, I've seen enough. I know where they're going. They're not going to change the game back to what it used to be. That's just not going to happen. It's going to be the same thing with a few tweaks, because they're going to listen to the wrong people, and it's going to continue to be what it is. I understand that. But I remember after one of the tournaments that Young Kib was in, he had Deion Sanders block shedded a fat old lineman. I don't remember what tournament it was. Maybe one of you guys can let me know. And he said it in the interview. He's like, yo, I don't know what happened with that. You know, Deion Sanders, he block shedded my tackle. I don't know what was going on. And the way he said it, it was like, I think it kind of hit a nerve, because you know what it is? Where I'm from, you got to be able to pick up on body language, and you could see the rage inside Young Kib when he said that, but it didn't come off that way. But EA, the people that represent EA and the guys that are like, you know, that are around that see it, they know what he's trying to say. You know what I'm saying? The same way with the swerve with Voltarax, it became a thing where Volt was like this hero, but then they shunned the swerve at the same time. You know what I'm saying? I've been personally called all types of names from EA developers, you know what I'm saying, for swerving. But I don't care about that. You see what I'm saying? Because it doesn't affect me, because the game itself is very, very difficult to deal with. So I'm not going to change what I'm doing to make me enjoy the game because the community doesn't like it. You know what I'm saying? If that's the case, then that's something that, like they did, they addressed it. They addressed the swerve, and that was enough for a lot of morons to think that the game will be better, because they're stupid and they don't realize that the swerve has been in Madden, NCAA, and all these other games way before 16 and 17, but that people were able defensively to move their guy around and actually strafe. Now, I don't expect my guy to be able to strafe in 18. I expect him to slide around again like he's on Disney on Ice, because that's just what it is. But in my opinion, like I said, I'm not friends with Serious Mo. I'm not friends with Young Kid. You know, I know about them, and you know, if I see them, I say what up and stuff like that. So this is not something that they had anything to do with. But I listen and I see what goes on, and I can't lie to myself like these other individuals lie to themselves. And maybe, you know what it is? Maybe they really do enjoy it. Like, people always say to me, I can't believe that W thinks the game is good. Why wouldn't W think the game is good? Didn't he win like 80K or some stuff like that? He got fined for whatever, but didn't he win like 80K? Why wouldn't he like the game? That's an 80K come up, whatever the amount is. That's a come up. Of course you're gonna like it, but you have to be honest about the actual game itself. At the end of the day, there's a lot of crazy things that go on within it. But I'm not gonna knock W for getting his cake up. What kind of man would do that? What kind of man would hate another man for getting his cake up? He's not an enemy of mine. You know what I'm saying? So I don't really care about the money he makes and stuff like that. Yo, eat. But at the same time, we know exactly what's going on here. You know what I'm saying? Because the YouTubers that put the gameplay out, it's gonna be, yo, bro, it's gonna be like, yo, listen, this game is the hottest thing since, you know, sliced bread. This shit hot right here. You know what I'm saying? I can't imagine how it felt for the first person to be able to, oh, we could slice that? You know what I'm saying? Sliced bread, like, oh, snap. Usually they're just eating about a loaf. Somebody was like, yo, let's slice this shit. And you know what I'm saying? So when you think about it like that, understand what I'm saying. You have to be very, very careful. And this is advice for a lot of you dudes. Like, I can't hate on dudes that's gonna do it. Look, like, why wouldn't he pick that? You remember back in like Madden 10, 11, 12, that's going back for 6. No cornerback like a Cromartie, you know, Champ Bailey, Night Train Dick Lane, these guys, these legends, they're not gonna see the ball and do that. That's not gonna happen, but that's something that they implemented, because even if you click on the defender, he's still going to do that animation. That's what makes me sick about this game. When you try to do a rack catch, if they want to possession catch it, they're gonna possession catch it. And there's nothing you can do about it. It's a lot of things that's being taken away from the user. That's where Madden is going. Soon you'll just be able to talk and tell them what to do. You don't need a remote. Because that's pretty much what it is. It reminds me like Final Fantasy, when you put all your moves in and then it just does it afterwards. It doesn't make any sense. But again, just think about what I'm saying. I don't know what happens as far as the future goes for Serious Mo and Young Kid, but I do hope that they continue to be competitive. I do hope that they continue to be able to go out there and play the game, because regardless of how they change up now, they may get spoken to about it. Like, look, bro, you need to be a little bit more calm with it. I remember Joe, also when he got mossed by bugs, it was a wild moss action, and he went crazy. He looked at the ref looked at him, they're like, yo, it's Madden 17, what you want me to do? And it was just like, yo, they really put this game out for human consumption. But we have to wait to see exactly what happens. Because, like, look, I don't care about that being real stuff. You know, Dave Chappelle, with being real goes wrong. I don't want you guys to lose money to be real about it. Keep your platform, but you have to make sure that you do it in a manner to which they understand and know, and the people know, that this game was really, really bad. It was really, really bad, and they needed to do a lot of work on it, and that's why the blogs talk about all these changes, because Madden 17 was just that bad. But EA is in a position where they can't say that they did anything wrong, but they can show you improvements, just like any major corporation. So that's not news to me. It's just the fact that the little guys that are trying to, you know, up and come and make it better for the community, it's always going to be tough initially. But maybe one day EA will really listen and understand that there's a lot of things that need to be changed. Because it's really gone haywire over the last couple of years. Like really, really bad. It's gone crazy. And you know, there are a lot of things that need to be fixed. So, like I said, if you guys you know, understand what I'm saying, you need to give a shout out to Serious Mo, give a shout out to Young Kiv, those individuals that were able to say, look, this is what was going on. Because at the end of the day, they're gonna still make their money. Young Kiv and Serious Mo, they continue to grind, they're gonna still make their money. It's just they're not gonna be liked as much. But at the end of the day, it's about money, bro. That's what it's about. And playing the game early, all the guys that play the game early, they're not gonna be the best players regardless. So that doesn't really matter. And keep in mind, Serious Mo lost in that semifinal, whatever it was, to Problem Right on a garbage catch. So, you know, I can understand his rage overall. The game has become something that it just shouldn't be at this point. But Mud Squads, though. Hashtag Mud Squads. Bruh, Frostbite. Hashtag Longshot. If you don't get up out my face, look out for that EA Madden 18 gameplay, AntoDaBoss and other YouTubers. One love.